Asparagus. It makes your pee smell funny, most people have only heard of it, and it usually gets passed up in the produce aisle, but today, on My Shitty Kitchen, we're going to be serving it over toast with some reduced summer peach balsamic vinegar and a mostly beautiful poached egg. If this sounds super pretentious and really difficult, don't worry, because it isn't. So real quick, just to educate you, asparagus is a spring vegetable that actually grows into a flower when it's fully mature. It's usually harvested before that phase because once it blooms, the shoots, which are the part we're going to be eating, they turn very woody. If you don't believe me, look at the bottom end of an asparagus stalk. See the white woody end? We don't want to use that. As a side note, asparagus is known for its diuretic properties, hence the peeing thing, and it's also a really good source of vitamin B6 and a ton of other good stuff. Anyway, let's hop into the prep and ingredients for this dish. Firstly, you'll of course need a few stalks of asparagus. Next, since bread is a major component of this dish, you want to get something pretty hearty like a baguette or some other thick, crusty bread. You'll also need a large egg. Lastly, grab some oil, salt, pepper, and your favorite balsamic vinegar. Even if you only have the basic kind, you can still use it. I just really like these flavor-infused ones. For the prep, take your favorite samurai sword and cut the woody ends off the asparagus. Some chefs actually peel the stalk as well because the outside can be tough and fibrous, but I actually kind of like it and I don't like making more of a mess than I absolutely have to. Next up, you'll want to grab a bread knife or some other serrated knife, take your crusty bread, and if you're using a baguette or some other long, thin loaf, you'll want to cut it on what's called the bias. This is going to give us a lot of surface area to plate the finished product on, and it looks really fancy. Once you've got those two things prepped, foil a baking pan and lay everything out on it. Coat the asparagus with some olive oil and season with a little salt and pepper. Likewise for your bread. Next, you'll want to turn on the broiler setting for your oven at around 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Slide the tray in and let it cook. Make sure to keep an eye on your bread because it'll be toasted way faster than the asparagus will finish cooking. When one side of the bread is toasted, flip it to toast the other and then take it out. While everything is finishing up in the oven, set a pot of water on the stove to boil and add a little bit of white vinegar, about a tablespoon or so. We're going to poach our egg in here and the vinegar just helps the egg white to coagulate and stay together. Just before the water reaches a boil though, sprinkle in some salt and let it come back up. Grab a slotted spoon and stir the water in the pot. Drop your egg in gently so it doesn't break and very gently keep it in motion. You'll see a lot of frothy stuff come to the top, but don't worry about skimming it off. In around a minute or so, your egg should be good to go, and it'll look a little something like this. By the time you finish your egg, your asparagus should pretty much be ready to go. You'll know it's done when you can stick a fork into it without too much resistance, but really it can be cooked to any texture you like. I've met people that like it very crunchy, and some that like it super overcooked. I'm not really friends anymore with the latter group of people. Now, for another quick note, you can make the egg for this dish any way that you want to. I just chose to poach it today to show you guys another cooking technique, and I honestly did it for myself as well. I haven't poached an egg in forever, and I really wanted to practice the technique again. Anyway, the last thing we need to do is reduce our balsamic vinegar. This is super easy. Get a pan really hot and pour the vinegar in. It'll start to cook down and turn really syrupy. When it hits that stage, you're pretty much good to go. And once you've got everything together, plate it up and shred some delicious cheese over the top. I'm using some Marcoux Creamery aged Gouda. It's nutty and it's pretty delicious. But anyway, don't be afraid to be creative. We eat with our eyes, and it's always fun to make food look great as well as taste great. That is gonna do it for me today, though. Don't forget to like this video if you wanna come over and maybe help clean up my kitchen, and if you make this dish, or any of the others on this channel, or anywhere for that matter, tweet me pictures on Twitter at MyShittyKitchen. I love seeing you guys explore food, but until next time, I'll see you guys at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.